Welcome to another episode of Paradox TV. Try something new there. Hope it makes you smile. Did me. Right, welcome. My name is Alan, bringing you a new episode of Paradox TV. What we'll be looking at today. So in the previous episode, giving you a prediction of what the UK will look like in a 20-year period, if things remain as they are, if it remains as the status quo. Or if it gets worse, it'll be worse. Anyway, what it will look like. And what we said there was the fact that if nothing changes, we'll be looking at 20 years' time. A population, and these are nice figures as well, population being roughly somewhere in the region of 80 million people. A national debt of being somewhere in the region of 7.5 trillion, roughly. An NHS which wouldn't exist. You being over-regulated, over-observed. All the different really nasty stuff where you don't really have a choice to say anything, and all for globalization and control, which isn't a good thing. So in the last episode I was talking about we've become the frog, and just to give you an idea of how to cook a frog, and like I said on the last one, this is not FoodTube. But the way you cook a frog is really simple. You get a pan of cool water, you place it on a stove. You put the frog in, you put the lid on, and you turn it up to a gradual heat. As that's cooking, the frog's thinking, woo, I'm taking a bath. Oh, this is nice. Oh, loving it. And then what happens is the frog cooks. And we are, whether you like it or not, and the Queen's speech, which came through yesterday, would cement the fact that we are in the last of the last days, and the fact that actually we are heading to a hiding. We're not going to a good place. So if things remain the same, in 20 years, that's what it will look like, in my prediction. And actually, I don't think I'm that wrong. So we've talked about what it'll look like if we stay within Europe. Let's talk about something else. So let's talk about what potentially a projection of what the UK will look like if we get out of Europe. So what people are saying is we're going to close the borders, which is actually an extremist stance and an extremist point of view. See, what I would predict and propose would be something down the lines of that if actually someone wants to come and live here, they have to be a benefit to our society. Thus, they have to take on board our beliefs and our laws. They have to honour the country, and they actually have to want to be here. They have to be relatively self-sufficient to actually come here in the first place, and be have an education of some description. And I think that's important. If Australia have got it so right, which when Australia was first populated, and I'm not talking about the native people there, but when it was first populated, it was designed as a place to go and chuck all the prisoners. And now look at it, it's the place where everyone wants to go and live, because they are very, very, very interested or very opposed to not letting people into their country that do not have their same ethos, that do not have their belief set, and the people who actually want to come to the country to work, to live. And the place is blossoming, it's booming, and it's got its challenges like everywhere, but it's actually, on a very even keel. So making the country a place that can be recognised as a place of excellence is a good point, or a good stance. Having a mission statement is a good stance. Where we need to get back to is why can't we have industry in this country? Why can't we have industry in this country? And what I mean by that is, with industry, so if we go back to before we even contemplate going into a single market, then into a common market and all the common market, single market, whatever, Britain in 1973 looked, and it was manic. There was industry here, design, entrepreneurial spirit. There was everything here, car manufacturing, everything. And then because of globalization, politicians, being told what to do, being the puppet on the string, Pinocchio. We're just told what to do, and they did it. And that's where we've entered into this mess. So we need not a revolution. We need a reformation. A reformation is a group of people, a nation standing together and actually saying, we want to create our own destiny. We want to create our own path. What the leaders of the Get Out campaign are talking about is, it's pie in the sky. And whichever way you look at it, is pie in the sky anyway. What I'm talking about is actually having a reformation, actually taking ideas and making something of them, becoming a country of excellence, having a justice system which is second to none. Because let's be honest about it, our justice system at this point in time is an absolute joke. And the people working in the prison services will tell you the same. There is so much potential of what we can do. All I know is that our first point of call on the 23rd of June, we have to get out the milk, we have to get out the pot. Yeah, first point of call, 23rd of June. And today you should have got your voting card. So on the 23rd of June, it's your say, your time. Do you want to be a country that just is going to be part of something which is going to be nasty and ugly? Or do you want to actually be part of something which can unite, which can bring us all closer together, give us an identity? Because having an identity is just so important. You don't want to be like everyone else, because being like everyone else, believe it or not, it's not a good thing. You were designed individual. I was designed as an individual. And the point being that our country, my country, which I regard the best country in the world, and I've been to lots of different places, but to me it's the best country in the world, and we should be proud of our history. We should be proud of who we are and what we are, not the opposite. And when people say, United Kingdom, you're too small to go it alone, you can't do it. I want to bring that back to a couple of areas. Area number one, our greatest export, without a shadow of a doubt, is our language. The English language is used for business throughout the known world. Everyone around the world, the most common spoken word is English. What's our second greatest export? Christianity. Went across the whole world. And that's why the language is so popular in different places, because people got off their butts, went out and told the common people, told the people that had nothing, that actually they were richer than they could ever dream possible. The fact that there is salvation. There is salvation. And his name is Jesus. And that's another point. In a country where in the Second World War, our Prime Minister called the country to prayer. Called the country to prayer. We've come so far away, and we've gone on a different... But it's been a gravy train of debt. Just more debt, more debt, more debt. Oh, don't worry. Someone else will pick up the tab. And all you've got is the upper echelons of society laughing their butts off, just saying, do you know what? How stupid are they? How stupid are they? And on the 23rd of June, I keep saying it, but on the 23rd of June, we have the opportunity to make our own way, to unite as a country, become a country of excellence, become a country where we have some kind of border control, where we go back to the roots of what made us great. And we can get there again. This is Alan from the Paradox TV channel, because the truth matters.